Good evening. Welcome. Tonight, Link to the Past randomizer challenge cup action. We are in bracket stages now, having completed group play and determined seedings. Tonight, we have game 2 between 14 seed DarkShadows59 and the 51 seed AsmadiGames. And they are off, and Madi already getting some explosives for his trouble. So I'm Pro A007. Benny Burrito will be joining me shortly. And we have Amarith helping out on the comms. Welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good. So going into this, we have Asmadi actually scoring a game 1 upset over Dark Shadows 59. So this should be an interesting game 2 this evening, as Dark Shadows is looking to even up the best of 3 match, try to force a decisive game 3. Dark Shadows picking up some gloves from Uncle. Body heading into the Lost Woods. Little route diversion here.
Yeah, I can never really blame the going up to the Uncle play. It's just very good quick check for a couple bombs before he had to Kakariko. Just give you a few more, like just ease of checks.
Yeah, and going to get a tree pull here and gets 20 arrows. Not really what he was hoping for. I think if he got enough bombs, he might have actually done escape. Or at least a front of it, but he can do the back of escape now with gloves. Asmadi, while his traditional Kakariko check.
Yeah, getting those gloves that early is really nice. If he had picked up another pack of bombs, a good about 5 bombs is enough to do front of escape if you can manage to pull it off without messing up.
Right. So we got 2 crystals. Desert and Hera are crystals. Eastern is the red pendant. So, thing it there. Shadows picking up the powder.
Bottle over on Asmadi's side.
Yeah, so he'll be able to do pretty much all of Kakariko, and he's going to have $100 ether in the back of the Blind's hideout. That's a nice pickup. So the one change to tonight's settings is, instead of it being defeat Ganon needing 7 crystals, getting a T, it's going to be 6. So the what changes that brings to our runners.
Oh, sorry I'm late.
And we welcome my co-commentator, Benny Burrito. Welcome.
Oh, happy to be here. Looks like we already have good stuff coming out too.
Yeah, Mirror and Bombos in the well. That's a really nice pickup for Asmadi, and an even exchange with the bottle vendor, 100 for 100. So we got Mirror, gloves. So that seems to be suggesting there could be an early Hera play here.
I love those early treks up the mountain.
Yeah, certainly do. It can certainly go to Uncle now. Well, Dark Shadows can. Asmadi hasn't visited Uncle yet. He does his map check. Yeah, so Asmadi again leads 1-0, defeating Dark Shadows 59. Game 1. Asmadi was the second place finisher in Group A, which was a pretty rough Group A. Some very good competition there. So he went 4-3 in group play, but that might not necessarily be indicative of record. Dark Shadows 59, of course, another very good player and winner of Group AB. finished 14th in a very competitive and wild bye race seat on New Year's Day.
From my experience, it looks like even the Challenger Cup, although this is kind of like the second cup after people that didn't make the first cut, I mean, everyone seems to be really good. It's crazy. Not as crazy as those mitts, though.
Now, yeah, Asmadi finding the other set of gloves. We're going to have gold gloves, Dark Shadows inside of about 7.5 minutes. So we've got a lot of early Dark World checks going here, I think. Especially if they can find the Moon Pearl. Still missing really an offensive weapon at this point, but outside of that, it does seem to suggest we're going to get some early Thieves Town, some Hype Cave early, and all of that it entails right now. But still a ways off from actually determining that, but the seed does seem to be pointing in that direction right now.
Where's Asmadi going next?
I would, for his sake, he was hoping it would be Uncle, just so he can get the other gloves. But it looks like he's going to follow the path south to the dam and to Mini Moldorn Cave.
Hopefully that won't end up biting Asmadi. I mean, it's still very early on, and it's the kind of thing where even if you did escape next, you guys are probably, like, the two races are probably going to cross over at some point, so it wouldn't be any time lost.
Yeah, everything, it's all negligible at this point. It really won't have an impact. Dark Shadows is also doing a blind run for the race game, and he's very happy to find those Titan nuts.
I don't typically see a sub 10-minute Titans miss. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Asmadi saying no thanks to a vanilla piece of heart. So I think we're gonna find something pretty good, I think, in Mini Moldorn Cave here.
Does the guy in the cave have a name?
I don't think so.
Have a name for him?
Boy. Oh, Asmadi got trolled by Trolldorn, but the good news is he did have a fairy in that bottle, so he gets to survive. And that's a nice reprieve, I suppose, but hope that doesn't come back to bite you later because of weird behavior. There's the ice rod.
Pendant Turner Rock. Confirmed.
Yeah. And so we got a couple of pieces of heart, but did get that ice rod, so that takes out one of the trolliest items in Rando. Then again, with 6 crystals, it may not even be necessary to do Turtle Rock today, even if it is a crystal.
Really adds in that extra level of strategy, which are going to be my 6 dungeons that I'm going to do.
Right, and yeah, it's not the first 2 or 3. It's usually the last 3 where you start asking yourself those questions, like, okay, what can I do? What gets me into a pretty much go mode at this point? So, yeah, it's a lot of certainty that they're going to have to deal with.
Make those mental decision trees. If I get this, I'll do this. If I get this, I'll do this. And it's a lot to juggle.
Yeah, it is akin to chess in that respect. You're trying to play ahead and try and figure out what's next. So Asmadi got 2 bottles, and gloves and a mirror, ice rod, bombos, ether. So do Kylie a check. What's there, and just hard.
Refill. Wise.
Yeah, that would suggest he's gonna probably make a run at Skate. Or no, looks like he's heading up to Eastern Sarsaparilla.
Interesting. I wonder if Asmadi just forgot about escape because it's like the most easily forgettable spot, or if it's just something that's going to be put off until a little bit later.
Well,
Maybe
our
to route in Aga too.
Our tracker, cool Papa Bell 2282 makes a good point. Like putting off escape until he gets a weapon makes sense, and that is true. 10, can you do it with 10 bombs? Sure. Do you really want to? Not really. Sarsaparilla doesn't offer much except for a shield and knowledge that Swamp is holding the green pendant. So now Asmadi essentially now has two choices, Eastern or Escape, and Eastern is probably the better, easier choice, largely because he doesn't really need a weapon to get through the first half of the dungeon.
Because Dark Shadows is opting to fake flipper.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He went that way, and the seed hasn't really been giving a whole lot. He can't pay off Zora unless he gets really lucky here with one of the item pulls, but it's worth at least getting Hobo out of the way. Hobo seems to have been paying off. At least he has for me in my race. Yeah, just
Bombs.
yeah. The Hobo is an anarchist. Who knew? Burrito in the opening chest of Easter. Again, it is a red pendant, so not necessarily required to finish just yet. No, for sure for a little while, but Dark Shadows with 7 bombs is going to make the journey back up to Hyrule Castle.
Interesting play.
Yeah. In his mind, it's too well. He's also going to do the back of Escape. It looks like he's going to do that first. Probably do a Death Warp. Ice Rod Escape. Yeah.
I'm curious about this routing. And these dark rooms won't be the easiest without a light source or a
No.
sword.
Yeah, this without a sword, it is going to be a little problematic. But Dark Shadows is, I think, experienced enough to where this won't really matter. Yeah, he's got those as guideposts. There's the baby sword for Asmadi.
Bombs. It's a second item, right? In Eastern?
Yeah. And, Dark Shadows found the magic tape in Crossroom. Now I think he's trying to take a death, and the enemies aren't really letting him.
Throws them all.
So Dark Shadows might just want to take a quick save and quit, even though it's going to waste time. Okay, it looks like he's working on it.
I don't know if I've ever tried so hard to die in my life.
Yeah, really.
That's kind of crazy.
Kidding. Okay, he's finally had enough here.
Madi opening the chest the legit way.
Yeah. And all for
It's
3
item
bombs.
3.
So no reason to come back to Eastern. He did get a sword, though. That is true. Dark Shadows did have a fairy in a bottle, so it would have been counterproductive to try that. So our runners are syncing up now. Asmadi still has to check Uncle. He's going to get his Titan bets. So after this, there aren't many checks left on the table for them, unless something really good pops up in here. Bucks is not necessarily what we were looking for. 300 would have been nice, because that would have been enough to pay off Zora.
He didn't get the key from the guard, right?
Uh,
Or did he?
I think he did.
Okay.
Fine. There's the hook
nice.
shot. So that's great, but in terms of logic, that doesn't exactly put our runners something missing here. Feel like. So yeah, the hook shot is a most welcome addition, nonetheless.
They need is a moon pearl. Moon pearl would change everything.
Oh yeah, a moon pearl or a fire source to put would put Death Mountain into logic and do a quick run through of Tower of Hera.
Ooh, 50 bones.
Okay, so Dark Shadows, Gina or Zora if you're going by logic here. We got different point of views on where you would go if you're following the logic, Agina or Zora, and Agina obviously is for free, so there is that.
Or you could just go into Ice Palace, because you can still get in there, die, get rid of your bunny status, use bombos to get in, and then start going ham. Go in Ice Palace.
That's a little too complicated for
The gambles. Come on, we need some gambles.
yeah. Chat suggesting Houlihan room. Well, that's 225 rupees. Sure. Both runners are navigating dark rooms. Dark Shadows is trying to get the old man. Does successfully. Very nice. Dark Shadows on his way to Tower of Hera. He's got a couple of problems here, though. On chief one being he can't actually finish the dungeon, even if it isn't basement required. He doesn't have a weapon that can actually hurt Lanmola, or not Lanmola, Moldorm. Excuse me. You got to hope for something to come up here. There's a heart container that's great, but bombs cave, so he's gonna have to swing around and oh, he's gonna go for it. He's going for Tower of Hera.
Items, hopefully.
Well, there's only 2 items in Hera. So red crystals in Mire and Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock is the blue pendant.
Got the ice route early. What did you expect?
Of course. Mahdi is going to actually do a paranoia check in Lumberjack. I don't think we saw this earlier. And just a validation arrow.
Legendary arrow of yore.
Yes. So Dark Shadows in Tower of Hera. Mahdi looks like he's heading that way. Big keys.
There's the big key.
Alright, so that's good. Death warp here. No, he really shouldn't actually, because again, fairy in the bottle. Why? Starting to become an open question. Why is he not using his mirror?
He doesn't like the way he looks.
Yes. There's item number 1, 10 arrows. I think he's going to do the bomb glitch here. Skip about half the dungeon.
of an already not too long of a dungeon.
Yeah. Missed on the first try. When Asmadi's case, after he gets a refill from the old man, Lilifant actually brings up a good point. That was the default 5-6 for the crystals, Ice Palace and Misery Mine. Oh, Asmadi was trying to slip around dead rocks. Dead rocks weren't having.
They have one purpose in life, and their one purpose is to make you miserable.
Yeah. Tough job. Somebody's got to do it. All right. So Asmadi is going to Eastern Death Mountain, which is a good choice, I think. A lot of item density. Can't get across to the other side without the hammer, but that's not a problem. We can use the mirror anyway. So
DarkShadow sees that the last item is on Moldorm and cannot kill Moldorm at the moment.
yeah, there's a Master Sword for Asmadi. That's a good pickup. Dark Shadows will actually get his sword in a moment. Refill for Asmadi, going up to 5 hearts. There's the
There's
lamp.
a lamp.
Okay, so Asmadi.
Now you know the flute is somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so there's the lamp, so how the hell do you get up here in the first place? Either that or you're taking a really long, torturous route to the flute via Agina having the moon pearl or something. You know, it's that kind of twisted, sane logic here.
While Dark Shadows looks like a normal Link, that is the bunny spread, I believe.
Yes, it is. Bug catching net. Nah. Mountain. $50 there. Super Bunny Cave for Dark Shadows. Try and eke out some forward progress this way. Power to him for that, but it is going to put him at a bit of a disadvantage. He really comes up here. Check Turtle Rock, find out what it is. The ether, so we can open it.
Yeah, but now Dark Shadows can do Spiral Cave, hop down, do Paradox Cave, do the whole rigmarole, should he want to.
Should he indeed? Alright, so Madi has done all he can do on Eastern Death Mountain, so he's probably gonna finish what he... No, he's going back to Link's house. What? Oh, I think he's gonna check Agina.
Yeah, I think that's his last check in logic, right? I mean, aside from going through Aghanim.
That's true, yeah. Aghanim and Zora are the only things he can... take that $20, Asmadi. Zora, we got Vince Easter suggesting Zora with flute, Pearl on Pyramid via Aga 1 Dark World. Ugh. Certain
Like the
things.
Pearl and Checkerboard.
Wow.
Comment.
There is tortured logic there. Alright, so Body is checking Ina's cave. Just getting a sword. A boomerang. So Zora's holding the aces here. Because we have literally seen everything else.
Darn fish.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Asmadi is going to play Tower of Hera, which is a good idea. Get it out of the way.
Asmadi will be able to finish it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can full clear the dungeon. Again, out of logic, understood, but nonetheless, get it out of the way. That's an easy crystal. Looks like Dark Shadows did about 30% of the dungeon is going to do it. Asmadi is actually doing a blind check here. That's interesting. It's not going to work for him, but we welcome the boldness nonetheless.
Boldness that really gives Rando like the oomph that it needs.
Well, again, Dark Shadows is down 1 zip in this matchup, so he's going to need some of those oomphs to really propel him forward here.
Never having too many oomphs.
Yeah. Dark Shadows actually has enough rupees to pay off Zora. All 500 of them.
Might be the next stop.
Certainly after this dungeon, yeah. I think regardless, if they come up with anything, it's going to be that way. Dark Shadows is setting up the bomb jump again. He has better luck this time. He was unsuccessful on his first try. So Asmadi will actually have an easier go of it with Trolldorm than Dark Shadows. 'Cause he's got Master Swords. So it's going to take, I believe, 3 charged swings. Shadows is successful in skip. So he's going to go straight to fight Trolldorm. It's either going to be it's either going to be key or item number 2. Shadows is going to have to be careful. He has to hold him 6 times here with the baby sword.
Or
5, so now the decisive 6th strike, and
up. Oh!
nice little pierce there from Dark Shadows to finish the job. And he will have to go into the basement. We have our first crystal at 2745.
It'll look easy.
Yeah, it was a good fight and some good play there from Dark Shadows. Now, much to his disgust, I'm sure, has to go down into the base. Asmadi is not far behind.
Trolldorm was most certainly out for blood.
Yeah, he was.
It's not feeding that poor guy.
Yeah. More should do it for Asmadi, and there it is. Nicely done.
And Asmadi, are you gonna go follow suit and chill in the basement?
I think just out of necessity, you kind of have to. It's a time sink, but it's one of those moves gotta kind of just put up with it. Like, oh, do it already.
Well, early on, you don't really want to leave anything, especially when you haven't got much.
Yeah, we've all seen runners get absolutely torched by this in races. And there's the Moon Pearl. I think that just took Aga out of play altogether. Dark Shadows can actually continue on with Hookshot Cave, though he's got to take the long way to get there.
I find that hammer.
Where is the hammer?
That's a huge find.
Yeah.
Worth noting, Dark Shadows hasn't checked out Eastern yet.
That is true. That has not been something he has done, and while it not a huge deal, it's going to give Asmadi a slight advantage only in the context he's got a better sword.
True that. True that.
All right, so Dark Shadows is going to Hookshot Cave. Asmadi is going to do Dark World checks well. Take care of things there.
With the Moon Pearl, you could route in Waterfall Cave with the fake flipper, as well as check out Zora. Make it a little bit more spicy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, get your money's worth as far as the checks are concerned. There's the red boomerang, and so far in Hookshot Cave, there's the flippers. Wow.
Never mind. Just do it. Just do it the right way.
Yeah. Dark Shadows, unfortunately, is going to have to go all the way around again for that fourth chest. That was fortunate lapse there. And all for $50.
It's kind of fun to do that cave, though. You kind of like going around in a circle. It's a little bit of fun.
Asmadi's going to have enough to get to Zora as well for $500. Dark Shadows is already making beelines straight for that. Zora. Dark World checks done by Asmadi's going to check out PR. Curiosity. Dark Shadows is actually heading for Sarsaparilla, which he has not done yet.
Come the Eastern checks. He'll get his sword, his second sword, which will be nice, but
If he goes that way, he might just stop as far as Sarsaparilla just because. Okay, Asmadi is done. The flute hunt is definitely on. We confirmed that much. So now Dark Shadows is going for the Eastern thing. Asmadi is gonna do Hobo and oh no, we already did Hobo. Excuse me. Gonna do Waterfall Cave and Zora and get 4 items taken care of.
is it Asmadi that did Hobo or Dark Shadow?
Now I can't remember. I thought it was Oz. Chad, help me out.
Us out, because I think I'm in the same boat.
We got a drug deal from Asmadi in the work. It's a bottle with a fairy.
I mean, the Eastern play after getting the Pearl might just be for completion's sake. You don't know, like Hammer could be here. It'll weigh on you if you don't check it early.
Ah, thank you, Ben. Appreciate it. So
What's Zora got?
gotta have something because by logic we've done everything else. And there's the flute.
It's all washed and cleaned by the Zora himself.
Yeah. Chat was quite right. It was down to this. It had to be. There was nothing else at play. Dark Shadow's getting the second sword. Okay. So So they activate the flute, and then probably next move on the table is go into Dark World and very least run at Thieves Town. Right now, the two main items that we're going to be looking for, certainly the bow and the hammer. Fire rod is also in play, but not necessarily required. Skip Skull Woods and do the others, so choose.
So what are we looking at here?
Since this is 6/6, this does throw in some interesting variables. Hammer, Samaria, bow, and fire rod. Drug deal offering nothing, just like drugs in real life for people.
In school too, kids.
Yeah. So, Marty, don't think that's what he intended. Try that again. Go. Yes, correct. Hammer and two of the others would, I think, be enough to flip the switch. Marty is Dark World proper.
Dark Shadows is checking Yagina, so he's really putting Zora off to the very end.
Yeah. You don't want it to be Zora. You pray it isn't Zora, but deep down in your hardest of hearts, you know it's Zora. Asmadi is going to go straight into well, no, he's not. He's what he's doing.
Yes, he is.
Needed to think about it, I guess. Good news is he's got magic powder, and he's got a bottle with a fairy, so he should be fine with health.
Marty lost the fairy.
He picked it back up. He threw the bottle into Waterfall Cave. So he's back to full strength.
Our powers combined.
Right. So the other thing, it's not as huge a deal right now. Asmadi's also probably looking for 80 rupees so he can play the digging. Oh, at 34.
I like that chic bunny sprite.
There's the boots. Nice. Okay, he's just doing the front of doing the front part of Thieves Town. He doesn't want to do it without the hammer.
It's fair. You already had to do the basement of Hera. Your last check of like Zora was of progression and logic anyway.
Right. Okay, so there go all the money problems. Pay off digging game, pay off the greedy little monkey in front of Pod. He's all set.
And if he so chooses to buy that big red bomb, could do that too.
Can. Although it's hard to imagine that would actually be a factor. Well, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's unlikely, but not impossible. And 18 digs later, we get a sand cart, no less. Dark Shadows working his way through Skull Woods. Seem to have come up with anything really tangible just yet.
Oh boy.
Well, he got grabbed. That's unfortunate. Death here.
Just to leave that chest.
Yeah. No longer a guaranteed key in version 31, but unfortunately in this case it's a burrito. Alright, so Asmadi gets $50 as a reward. Well, actually $40 from the smithy. Asmadi looks like he's gonna do a lot of dark world checks here. Little surprised he didn't go for, oh yeah, that's right. Actually, he could have gone for Magic Bat if he wanted with the mirror. But it would have required him to kind of do a bit of backtracking process. Could have done it. $300 in Bumper Cave.
Dark Shadows is not going to get the boots right away.
No. That's somewhat limiting in what he can get. There's shovel for Asmadi. Well, since he was in the neighborhood, he might as well do that too.
It's perfect. That's almost as good as just finding it on Stumpy.
Almost. Almost. It's almost like it's too good to be true. It's like you have to kind of mentally check yourself and like, oh, right. Nothing in Graveyard Ledge. Another hard container for Asmadi. $20 in the Grove. Our tracker, Cool Papa, is made a good point that pairing this with Catfish, so it works out in the end. So it's less backtracking, kind of running all over the place for him. Asmadi's doing a more traditional sort of doubling up with Purple Chest / Smithy, like a lot of the Central and South Dark World checks. But it worked. Good for both of them.
Only $20 in the lunchbox.
Yeah, well, it's all right.
With $20 on the Catfish.
This is the last major check Asmadi can do. For he'll have to do a kind of a save and quit, or go back to the light world and with the mirror and start all over again. See where he wants to go from there.
What if Hammer is on the pyramid? And Dark Shadows just went all the way around, and to get back there, he'd have to go all the way around again. If he doesn't go back now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, Asmadi just picked up the bow and a bottle in Hype Cave. So that's one of the big four down of bow, Fire Rod, Hammer, and Canis Maria. He already done Eastern, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But okay, this is a good move. Gonna do Desert, but also do some mire checks and Checkerboard Cave while he's at it.
Asmadi's got a pretty good loadout right now. With the flute, with the bow, boots, Master Sword. You're sitting pretty.
Bombos opens Misery Mire, so he's all set. Myers shed just 10 hearts and a piece of heart, but 10 arrows and a piece of heart, but brings Asmadi up to 9 hearts overall, so probably not ideal necessarily for Meyer, but more than enough to take down Desert. Bombs and checkerboard. Dark Shadows has activated his flute. Our runners have kind of gone in somewhat different directions, particularly in the last 10 minutes or so. But it looks like Asmadi is holding the overall lead at this stage, largely on the strength of his routing. Especially now that he's got the bow. And is on his way to taking care of crystal number 2. His pilgrimage into Thieves Town got him the boots, which has again strengthened his hand a bit as far as what he can and can't do. Dark Shadows really needs to go to Thieves Town like now.
What he does. What do we got here in Desert?
So far, nothing. Just the big key, a small key, and a compass. So, last 2 chests are going to have the items. There's only 2 items in Desert, so we'll see if either of them are something particularly valuable. Say, the Cane of Samaria. Well, that's
another potion.
Well, that's the 4th. We've got all 4 bottles. We're not even an hour into this. Yeah, Tracker making another good point that Dark Shadows did go for some moves that didn't quite pay off for him or didn't give him the kind of forward advantage he really needed. So he has been playing at a bit of a deficit as a result of that. But the good news is we still got a lot of game left to be played, and there are some risky gambits he can make if he's so inclined, like Ice Palace. I'm not sure I'd necessarily do it with 6 hearts, but he could. I believe he has everything he needs.
I think they've had everything they needed for a while now.
Yeah. I guess it's a matter of expediency. Dark Shadows is going to do Magic Bat, which Asmadi did not do. See if this pays off for Dark Shadows. For us, we're probably hoping so. Just 20 bucks.
Ooh.
One of the races I did earlier in this tournament, Ice Rod was at Magic Bat, because of course.
I think I did that one with you. That one was rough.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah. That's
I remember one recently that had something there.
Yeah. So, Asmadi has finished off the Land Molas, get his 2nd crystal and a piece of heart at 48.37.
Adi's just making all the right moves.
Yeah.
With the like getting the boots, getting the bow. Had Dark Shadows found Samaria at Catfish or something like that, we'd be talking a completely different game, but
yeah. It would certainly be a much more even setup at this point. Right now, Asmadi with a 2-1 lead on the crystals, and he might just decide, he can't full clear, but he can definitely do Thieves Town. Give him a 3rd crystal. Yeah, it's a pain if you have to make a backtrack for it, but with 6-6, I think it's a risk that's well worth taking.
As we were mentioning earlier, and Chad pointed out, you don't need all the items. You only need 2 or so of them.
Right.
So you can leave one in that chest.
Right. 2 are definitely required, and then the other, it's a question of which you prefer. Asmadi is doing Magic Bad, which he had passed on earlier. Probably, it's probably something good, isn't it?
That's something good. It's something great.
Yeah. If you think $20 is great, then yes. There's the boots for Dark Shadows. That's another thing. Asmadi's had the boots for the last 15 or so minutes. And it's probably not a significant jump, but it certainly doesn't hurt, especially when you get like those long straightaways like Asmadi just did.
Dark Shadows is opting to finish Thieves Town.
Might as well. I mean, like I said, you're hoping that it isn't required, that the big chest is required, but Crystal and, really can't be choosy about these things right now. Asmadi, meanwhile, is going to do the northern part of Dark World. He's going to be able to check some things Dark Shadows could not. Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb.
That is a good point.
So that's 2 extra item checks for him on that front.
If there's something in either of them, it's going to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's ginormous. Burrito Tower of Thieves Town. Hard container for in the Bonk Rocks. Dark Shadows having a little trouble getting the bomb to break the floor. SSBM is correct that Samaria could well be required to get Big Key. Same with Fire Rod, yeah. So not completely out of the woods. Yeah. Right color, wrong item. Again. In Graveyard Ledge, so Asmadi's do now King's Tomb, like. Shadows just about done here with Thieves Town.
I haven't been counting items. I'm not certain if we're looking at one in the chest.
I think I counted 3. Boots. I think a couple of $20, and now that's it. All right, so Thieves Town about to begin with a blind.
It was off script, but that's okay.
Yeah, he's got magic capes, so he can afford to. He's just got to wait for phase 3 to begin it. Kind of do what he needs to. But he doesn't even need the cape, so finishing off blind. Okay, that's 4 items, I'm pretty sure.
Excellent.
53-41 for Dark Shadows to even the score at 2-2.
And we can see Asmadi coming in to finish Thieves Town.
Yeah.
It's what I started.
Yeah. I'm trying to recount in my head here the number of items. I think it's right still, but okay, compass must be in the big chest. Sure then. All right, so Dark Shadows has got 2 crystals. Asmadi's about to get his 3rd.
Dark Shadows never checked Lumberjack ledge. Who's gonna take care of that now and see the arrow?
Yeah. So some interesting checks on the table. Some interesting choices on the table for the runners after they finish up here and pick up where the other one finished. What the other one already did. So I don't know. I'm thinking, hey, no, that's not gonna work. I'd probably say, for sheer item density, the best choice would probably be Pod. If you really don't want to do Ice Palace, then I would say Pod is your best bet.
I'd agree, unless you want to go for a swamp gamble, because there are 7 items when you include the green pendant.
True, but they can only get to open 2 chests, one of which is already guaranteed because they don't have the hammer.
Yeah.
So
All right, that hammer.
they can't actually finish Ice Palace either because of the final item, because of the final floor, but they can do most of it. So we've got 3 dungeons, and they can do most of Misery Mire as well. That's 2 items. So you got essentially 4 choices. None of them are ideal because you can't.
Oh, those are all nasty.
None of them are full clearable. Swamp is only 1 chest, and I think I've only seen that pay off once, 2.5 years. Mahdi about to take on Blind with 8 hearts and lots of red goo and a fairy in a bottle. He should be fine. A little bit of damage there, but no problem. Down goes Blind. So that's crystal number 3 for Asmadi, gaining the lead on that at 56-47.
This Dark Shadows, I think, is gonna start. I don't know what is gonna start.
Going to the library. I didn't think there was anything in the library.
At the blue mail? Yeah.
Oh, the blue mail. All right. Well, that's fine. That's not a bad pickup. All right. So Asmadi looks like he's going up to Skull Woods. Dark Shadows had a whale of a time with it earlier, but he also had far fewer hearts than Asmadi stage.
In the end, there was nothing there.
No.
And without Fire Rod, you're not making any progress.
Yeah, it's not really given a whole lot for them to work with. And correct observation by chat. Low hearts this seed. Yeah, the seed has not been particularly healthy. Dark Shadows is doing everything Asmadi did about 20 minutes ago, and Asmadi likewise is doing the same thing. Four chests for Asmadi, and got zilch, just 2 keys and the map of the compass, so not much doing there. He's not even going to bother checking the rest of the dungeon. So,
The seed has been kind of stingy so far. It's been slowly trickling items.
yeah, so Asmadi's got a lot of very difficult and unpleasant choices here. He's got entered 4 dungeons, cannot full clear any of them, can't even finish them, which putting him in a bit of a bind here. We already know doing hobo, I think. Oh, that's right. Asmadi did not do hobo. We weren't sure, but yeah, now that confirms it. Trying to do anything he can to avoid having to play a dungeon, double dip a dungeon.
Shadows is making a swamp play.
Yeah. All right. Well.
A lot of setup for one check.
Yeah. Thank God it's not very. It doesn't take very long. But yeah, this is. Looks like Asmadi is going to make a run at Ice Palace.
Oh man, that's gross. That's just
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. Say nothing of Ice Palace's general attributes under normal circumstances. Yeah, this is not what he wants. Dark Shadows isn't a whole lot happier here, I don't think. And just a burrito, so nothing uh, in Swamp. So Asmadi, at the very least, can do everything except the finish. He can actually, that's not true. He can do about 3/4 of the dungeon. There's a couple of things he cannot check B2. I don't know if both runners feel behind at this stage. They certainly feel like, they drew pretty pretty lousy options here. This is not at all what you would hope for.
Both got flute at the very end. Dark
Yeah.
Shadows got the boots after skipping out on Thieves Town at the beginning.
Yeah.
Did a lot of checks that didn't pan out. And you don't feel too great at the moment.
No. It's like at this point, I would be myself. I think I'd probably do a beeline straight for pod. Check the pyramid. Nobody's checked pyramid yet, and make a run for it.
Yeah, that would be good routing to sweep all that in at once.
Yeah, it's like, what other choices do you have? Asmadi didn't get anything good out of Ice Palace. It didn't last very long there. So it's like, well, what other choices do you have realistically?
Dark Shadows looks like he's gonna do the checkerboard cave and then probably desert and clean that up.
Yeah, put him back even with Asmadi on the crystals at 3-3. Not sure what Asmadi's doing his route here. I think he thinks he wants to go to pod, but he's forgetting that he can't do that.
You go through the water down south? Is that a thing?
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
often see that route. That's an interesting route to think about.
Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about that. That is extremely unusual. Okay, so yeah, it's like that show you how often that actually comes up.
Game knowledge, though.
Yeah, it's like that's something you rarely, if ever, see. Okay, $20 on the pyramid, so it's got to be in pod. Forward progression pod.
Isn't there a thing that if the hammer is on the pyramid fairy, then Aghanim can be required? Something like that?
Maybe. That's Not really sure how that would work, but
You'd have to get the big bomb, and then mirror, and then go up to the gate, go through the gate warp, and then you're right there. But you have to do that because you can't take the hammer pick route.
oh, that's yeah, yeah. That's like that's got to be like one of the ultimate worst case scenarios. But yeah, SSBM's right. Because Ice Palace is on crystal number 5, that can't work this time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Got it.
But no, that's an interesting thought. It's incredibly twisted and sadistic, but it's an interesting thought nonetheless. So got the key up front, so Asmadi can do a fair amount of checking. You can check everything except really the end of this dungeon, unless he gets hammered somehow. I think it would be in here, because what else is going to be in here? Mari, I suppose, just to, you know, to twist the knife a little bit. Alright, so Dark Shadows has got the ice rod ready. You don't see this very often, but just as effective as the fire rod. There's silver arrows for Asmadi, so don't have to worry about a long, drawn-out fight with Ganon.
As Vince clarifies in chat, the 5-6 crystals are like, in the standard vanilla game, they would just be blue, but they'd be 5 in Ice Palace and 6 in Mire. But we make them red and call them 5-6 here, so that you understand exactly which ones you need to get that bomb.
Right. Thanks to silver arrows, mimics are even easier to kill than before. Dark Shadows is actually going to do a Mire play here. Okay, I can't say I disapprove. I mean, it works out pretty well in terms of routing for Dark Shadows because he just finished off Desert, so while he's in the neighborhood and all. Madi find a lot of stuff back of Palace of Dark. Dark Shadows is hoping something good is up here in Mire. Again, do everything except the back half of the dungeon. Requires like Mario.
Unless you find it in the dungeon. French vanilla.
Yeah. Hard container for Asmadi down in the base.
Divergences like these that keep us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, who's gonna break through here? In terms of pure item density, it would point towards Asmadi because of Pod having 5 items. Now there's a red sword. He wanted something red, but that's not exactly what he wanted. Again, makes Ganon a lot easier when the time comes, but here's the big key. So last chance for Asmadi here.
Hey, the red mail.
Yeah, blue in his case because he hasn't gotten the other set from
Library.
From the library. So no dice there. Asmadi coming up empty in Pod. So Mahdi's is making a run for Mire now. One thing we have not seen yet, and this I'm sure makes me an awful human being. Spike Cave?
Well, you need hammer to get in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That hammer's really the bottleneck.
Yeah, that is often the case, Rando, yeah. It trolls so much. Bored. Bombs only in Myers, so something's gotta give. Right. Yeah. So, what haven't they checked? What else haven't they checked?
Haven't finished Eastern, but it doesn't matter.
Eastern
They have
had
everything.
Eastern had 3 items, so that's a moot point.
Can't finish Swamp, so they can't do Pedestal. Can't even go into
Right.
Turtle Rock, really.
Yeah, Vince saying Meyer, Skim, Skullwood's front, and Ice Palace dip. Yeah. Choices, and none of them are good. There's the big key.
So I guess all that's left really is to go deeper into Ice Palace, right?
Yeah, that would be the assumption. Yeah. Big chest. What's it got?
They already checked the front of Skullwoods.
Correct. Well, I think everything except the Gibdo, back of the Gibdos. There's the hammer. The hammer has been found.
Start playing some Zelda.
Yeah. So it's almost so overwhelming. Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Yeah. And Dark Shadows is making the correct choice. I think going to take care of Pod.
Dark has caught up, but he still has a lot of pod to clean out. Whereas Asmadi choose to go back there, can just go straight to the back and finish it up.
Yeah, yeah. Currently, yeah, Asmadi is holding the edge, but not by much. His need has narrowed as he ended up doing a lot of the overworld checks that Dark did and coming up empty. So yeah, but Dark Shadow's got to do all of Pod right now. That's going to take a while.
Will the hammer help a little bit with routing when you come around the Bowlock side?
Yeah, that's true. That will free him up a little bit, but I don't think it has as noticeable an impact as you would think. But yeah, it certainly is nice to have. Madi. Everything he can, except for the straight for the big chest. I've had enough of it.
As we all pointed out earlier, we're still missing one of two things.
Fire Rod or Canis
Samaria.
Samaria. You can finish this. You can get all 6 crystals without one of those two. Somebody's got his hammer and he is fluting probably to Pod to finish the job.
Tootin' over the pod.
Oh,
or Ice
nope.
Palace.
Oh, he's gonna do Ice Palace first. probably a negligible impact, but if he finds Fire Rod in there, it's like that might be a preferable choice. Might see.
Absolutely. Easy checks here.
Yeah.
Easy as in they're on the way.
Right. So, but yeah, in terms of crystals, and ice does take a long time. So, unless he does like, can't really do like a pseudo go mode on this. A little bit of maneuvering there by Dark Shadows. Back of the dungeon.
For anyone just tuning in, this is a 6-6 seed. You need 6 crystals to get into Ganon's tower and 6 crystals to damage Ganon, so you don't need all 7. Asmadi won the first game, and this is game number 2.
Asmadi did score a bit of an upset in game 1. He's 51 seed. Dark Shadows the 14 seed. By virtue of going undefeated in group play, Asmadi had to rather torturous 4-3 to get where he is, but his play tonight has certainly indicated that his seeding is not necessarily indicative of skill at all. He's played very well tonight, led most of the way, but that lead is starting to narrow dramatically as runners have kind of converged on each other in terms of routing.
That's what's interesting is one racer will have a good breakaway, but then get stuck, and then end up having to do everything else the other one did. It's just Rando creates these bizarre bottlenecks.
Yeah. And the bottleneck was the hammer in this case. Meyer Big Chest throwing everything kind of out of whack. It was prohibiting them from finishing no fewer than 4 dungeons. Alright, so Asmadi down into B4 of Ice Palace using bombos and that Fire Rod.
Dark Shadows makes his way to go fight Helmasaur.
Opening the big chest using a hookshot glitch to bypass. Doesn't get anything for it though. Okay, so he's got the block set down.
Big chest room always scares me. If I don't do the first one right, I'm always like, if I don't get this, I'm going to be so unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah, same. Tracker's pointing out it's a map on the Helmasaur King.
To know. Will not be an item found on Dark Shadow side.
Dark Shadows is about to get crystal number 4 on Helmasaur King. Asmadi is about halfway through Ice Palace right now. "17 hammer strikes against Helmasaur's mask will break it." One arrow,
Ooh.
one silver arrow, drop him, and there he goes.
Crystal number 4, hour 19 in.
119.25. So, in terms of crystal count, Dark Shadows is in the lead right now. But we're still looking for Fire Rod or Canis Samaria. There's literacy for Asmadi. That could be interesting.
You guys are still very close. This is anyone's game. It could even come down to Ganon's tower routing to see what happens.
Yeah, could. Absolutely could. Dark Shadows. Okay, I think he's checking Pyramid because he hasn't done that yet. Asmadi did.
Well, Asmadi's done all that he wants to do. It's going down to the puff. The puffs, rather.
Cold stare. Again, with Bombos, he can break the seal on them. Shadow's a little too far in. He's going to have to reset. Goes.
And the mushroom was turned in. It didn't result in anything.
Yeah, it was. I think it was one. It was 1 rupee. Okay, so
Bad idea to use the cape to kind of get a little bit of safety in.
We got rid of one of the puffs, so he's okay shape now. 2. Now he should be okay the rest of the fight.
Ever wonder what's dropping those ice cubes?
Not really. I just figure, magic or something.
Oh yeah, magic.
121.55 for Asmadi to even it back up at 4. He's got the Book of Medora. That opens 2 checks right away. Can't be. Fortunately, nothing. We can't get a pedestal out of this because Fire Rod is required to Turtle Rock. And Canis Maria too. So sorry, chat. We can't get that. So there
might be cool. Would be doing the Bombos tablet into Swamp. This way you're just knocking all that out.
Yeah.
It's not a crystal, so.
True. Madi, I think, is gonna do. I don't think he's not sure what he's gonna do.
I'm sure he's felt like that throughout most of the seed. Do I do the really bad thing or the really, really bad thing?
Well, certainly in the last 30 minutes, I think he's realized that he's got some really lousy options here, and it's like the old ostrich or the mule argument of what you'd rather be kicked by. He's in terms of trying to find that progression item, Swamp is the correct play. I myself would have probably just done Pod, just done with it. Get crystal number 5 off the table. What Dark Shadows is doing.
I think Asmadi already checked the front of Skullwoods.
He did. He checked the first 4 chests, yeah. So now we're getting a Bombos check.
Bombos in unison.
Yeah, just a hard container from the tablet.
Shadow's got his piece of heart from the chest. Isn't that Bombo springs love, everyone?
Yeah.
The runners are just cleaning up what the other one's already done. Although his mod will be able to go a little bit further in Swamp than Dark Shadows was.
Yeah. There's literacy for Dark Shadows. Alright, so that's as far as Dark Shadows got, was burrito. Now, what does Marty find? Gonna full clear it, I am sure.
Maybe just
But,
clear it until you find a Fire Rod or Samaria, and then you're done. Just get out.
yeah. Well, definitely 100% Samaria, because that takes out the Eastern GT concern. Yeah, if it's Cane of Samaria, that's pretty much 100% go mode.
If you found Fire, if you look up at that, if you find Fire Rod, do you risk it? Do you bounce out?
Probably, I guess it would depend on where I was in the dungeon. If he gets in like the next 2 items, I'd say, yeah, make a run for it. Yeah, GT right side with the lamp is very difficult. Can be done, though. Nice setup by Dark Shadows. A little bit of trouble there. It's cold stare down, no problem. Gets his burrito and the 5th crystal at 126.51, so technically in the lead right now on the crystals, Mire or Swamp. What's it gonna be? What Mire or Skull Woods, excuse me. What's it gonna be?
It can't be Skull Woods. I mean, he's already done it. Aside
Yeah,
from the
well,
Fire Rod.
right. Dark Shadows is going to... Oh, I see. I think he's gonna do the ether check.
It's quite a shot in the Dark Shadow, if I say so myself.
Yes. That and Spike Cave, he can do both, and you never know.
Never know if you don't go.
All right, so here we go. Spike Cave, Ether Medallion, Butter Sword. Well, okay, that wasn't exactly what he was looking for, but not unwelcome. All right, so Spike Cave, left side didn't come up, only had a red rupee and the big key.
Isn't it a
Oh,
little close there, Dark Shadows, with the
yeah,
cape?
just a touch, and all for 50 rupees. So Asmadi appears to have made the correct choice. Going into Swamp, he's still got 4 chests to open.
And we don't know if it's correct yet. He's got to find something.
Based on the limited number of choices remaining, it's gotta be this. Go. Dark Shadows appears to agree. He is running straight for it. may check Bombos first on the way. There's Quake. There's Half Magic. Not required either, but nice to have as always. Piece of Hearts. So, final item is with Argus, I believe.
And there's always the option that it's on the green pendant.
Yep, Sarsaparilla required. So with Red Sword, it's one hit on these popcorn shrimp, whatever they are. Our guy.
I don't know what kind of popcorn shrimp you eat, man.
I actually really don't.
Me neither.
Is there anywhere else these two haven't checked? I don't think so. I think they've cleared out everything. Wrong cane. Catfish? Nobody's checked catfish?
Shadows, check catfish.
Yeah, dark catfish came up with Zilt. So it's got to be Sarsaparilla.
And funny enough, Asmadi will be going over there to clean pod and then probably do that check exactly.
Hammerpeg Cave? Yeah, I think did Dark Shadows?
I don't think anyone did it.
No? I thought one of them, I might have been Asmadi did it. Thought.
Asmadi went there to check Magic Bat after the fact. But,
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. No one's checked hammer pegs. All right.
Okay, let's see what this guy's got. An old man. Oh,
There it is. The Cane of Samaria. That at 132.02 has put Asmadi in go mode.
should have known the old guy needs a cane.
Asmadi is gonna polish off pod here. He doesn't have very much left to do. He did almost all of it his first go around.
Because Dark Shadows is leaving all of left side.
Yeah. In terms of advantage, it is firmly with Asmadi right now, because he'll have this will be crystal number 5, then it won't take him long to do Skullwoods after this.
Or Meyer, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Meyer. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, Meyer. That won't take long. Either way, it won't take long at all. So little health refill there for Dark Shadows. Of the 7 crystal dungeons, Skullwoods ends up being the one that gets skipped as far as completion. Who knew?
Yeah, like one of the quickest ones.
Yeah. So, Dark Shadows about to take on Argus. Asmadi is just a few rooms away from going against Helmasaur King. I was trying to do some doubles here, having a little trouble getting the setup right.
Here's the poke strat.
Yeah. Poke strat, yeah, that's right. Alright, nicely done. Silver.
He entered Helma.
Over 1 hit, no problem. Dark Shadows finishes the job. Down goes the Helmosaur King. Dark Shadows is going back. This is not going to end well for him as a result.
Not blame him for it though.
No, I don't either. But this is really going to put him in the box.
GT routing could still make all the difference.
Yes,
This thing's not over yet.
Could, but he's going to need a lot. He's going to need some real help here. So 5/5 crystals. Asmadi has already done almost all of Misery Mire, so it's only taking about 2.5 minutes to finish off Mire. Then he will officially be able to go to Ganon's Tower.
If he goes straight to turning green pendant, he'll be pretty close. But if he opts to do something like hammer pegs instead, that's gonna widen the gap.
Well, yeah, it will, but I think he's probably just going to do it just really quick.
A swamp is a dungeon all about commitment. Once you say you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. You get that green pendant, you gotta see it through to the end.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Papa Bell's got it all right. He knows.
Yes, he does. So...
Getting to bad plays is the name of the game. You don't know they're bad until you see it through. That's Rando. That's Rando's tagline.
Yeah.
Here comes green pendant. Not bad if it's good, and Dark Shadows just entered good mode, I mean go mode, at 1 hour 37 minutes and 40 something seconds. Heading off to Mire. Now it's a race.
Yeah, one that Asmadi is in pretty comfortable lead on as far as that's concerned. Asmadi using the magic cape to take care of the little art vitri eyeballs. Two silver arrows will finish the job. One, because he did some damage beforehand. And one
There's through
38-18 for Asmadi. And of course, it is now time for everybody's favorite game, the Link to the Past randomizer community. We have 22 chests. What's it gonna be? What chest will have the big key?
What are you guessing there, Proa?
I will say 12.
Call me crazy, but I'm going for number 1. These guys have done enough.
Yeah. That'd be nice. So we got what? Got a decent mix of front and back half guesses. We got 16, 13, 12. We got 9. We got 4. Got a 5
1, 2,
just pop
3,
up.
4, 5.
Well,
Basically
right.
just counting 22 in chat.
All right. Dark Shadows just about to Vitreous. He'll be about 2+ minutes behind Asmadi going GT. Very quick fight from Dark Shadows using silvers to gun through Vitreous fences. Gets the crystal at 1:40:23, so 2 minutes 5 seconds separating them.
Game on.
All right, here we go. Asmadi's going to do the right side check first. See what he can get out of it. Number 1 is a key. 2 is a red rupee, so nothing up front. Right side, he's going to probably avoid that unless he can confirm that left side has nothing. So, for the base, so 3 was a red rupee. We got a quadruple coming up. Four is another key. 5, all the keys. Not the one they need. 6 are arrows. 7, there's the fire rod, so that just made a right side check a little more palatable because while it's not impossible, it's a lot harder with just the lamp.
To show you, even though it's 6-6, you didn't really have a choice in which 6 you were doing.
No, unfortunately not. Seed was fairly unambiguous about this one. Alright, so 8 chests with nothing so far for Asmadi. A lot of small keys. That much we can't ask. Nine coming up now for Asmadi, and it's bomb. Shadows is following Asmadi's lead on the left-right side play. So we got chests 10 to 13 coming up. 10 bomb. 11 a piece of heart. 12, 10 bombs. Lucky 13 arrows. Nothing there.
And that pig really hit his key real well.
Yeah. Alright, so coming up to Bob here in a sec. Nothing Bob's chest. Good Armas 2 fight from Asmadi. So we got 15 to 17. 15 is the big key.
In center.
So 15 is the winner. Congrats to Vince Easter for guessing correctly.
Chat notes that was the vanilla location.
It was. Marty now on his way up the gauntlet for the gauntlet. Got more than enough to take down Ganon. He's got red swords, silver arrows, the whole deal. Got plenty of provisions as far as bottles and berries, so he should be fine. Health burn.
Only X factors.
Ooh, Dark Shadows getting doinked by the mini Helmasaur.
Only
Yes.
X factors could be Troll Dorm 2 and Ganon, falling off in Ganon. But aside from those,
Yeah,
it's gonna be it.
this is looking pretty good for Asmadi with about five or so minutes left in the race. Asmadi having a little trouble on gauntlet rooms here. He's taking a lot of damage.
Execution still is important. It's not
Yeah.
that big of a lead, so
Right, and Chad seems to believe that in terms of execution, Dark Shadows has been a little more on point, which I think is a fair statement, but we'll see what happens. Not a good phase 1 for Asmadi in Landmola's. Gets rid of 1. Okay, there's 2 and there's 3. So a really rough go of it for Asmadi there.
it only ended up being maybe 5-10 seconds tops, but every little bit counts at this point.
Right. And when you're at about the 145 or so mark, you don't see a dot done from your opponent. Start thinking, well, I gotta really start moving. I gotta do stuff here. Kind of press a little bit. Maybe do things you wouldn't normally do. So Dark Shadow's just entering the gauntlet now. Asmadi pretty much finished with the gauntlet.
And you gotta remember, these guys almost full cleared the seed. They're probably both not feeling so hot.
No, this has not been a particularly kind seed.
And this was Dark Shadow's choice, right? To do 6-6?
Correct. So he was defeated in game 1. He got his option of changing it up one setting, and he chose this.
He needs this W to stay in.
Yes, he does. He will be eliminated if he loses. Asmadi missing the first bomb throw. Dark Shadows and Landmola. Also, he got 1 of the 3 Landmolas with a lot of lag. Ooh. Okay, time for Troll Dorm 2. So,
Right between the eyes with that arrow, that was fun.
snipe there for sure. Alright, so down goes Troll Dorm. Asmadi just 4 rooms away from Aga 2. Alright, let's see how nicely Aga 2 goes for Dark Shadows.
Asmadi, yeah.
Or Asmadi, yeah, that's right. Ooh, had a shot at a double, just missed.
Fun.
There's a lot of singles so far. Zilch there. Nice double there by Asmadi. Good little bank shot. Ooh, oh, that's unfortunate. That could have been an easy double. This should be a double. Or, boy, I jinxed that, didn't I?
Yeah, you kind of did. Commentator curse.
Asmadi having a whale of a time with Aga 2. Finally drops him at 150.10. Dark Shadows closing in. Chat pointing, helpfully giving us the round by round analysis. 10020012. Yeesh. All right, so let's see how Dark Shadows fares here. No for to start. Gets a 1 there. Another 0 for Dark Shadows. Not getting a lot of help from the patterns. This should be a good one, though. There's a double. Round 2 for Asmadi. There's another nice double by Dark Shadows. Asmadi in round 3. Dark Shadows just finished off Aga 2. So, race is on.
One fallen Ganon will be a big deal.
That's fatal at this point. Good setup here for Asmadi for tried to go for a double, did not get it, but did get the torch glitch. This should be a double. Oh, it's a triple. Asmadi nails the triple. Finishes the job. Asmadi will be moving on to round 2 of this tournament. He finishes with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 14 seconds. GG to AsmadiGames.
Get your GGs in chat, everyone.
And speak of the devil, we congratulate AsmadiGames, our winner of tonight's match. GG.
GG's. That was a fascinating seed.
Fascinating is a good way to put it.
Yeah,
Oh boy. But the good news is I only raised half the time thinking it was 7-7.
Well, there is that, I suppose, but it's like we were trying to figure out, what's it gonna be, and Dark Shadows getting thrown off the edge there. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, it's like we knew it was Fire Rod or Kana Samaria for about 45 minutes. It's like, well, where are they?
Well, turns out the Fire Rod was in the tower. Yeah, kind of panicked. I figured I was behind by the time that I finally got to Meyer and got there. But I'm guessing Dark took a similar route.
Yes and no. It all kind of evened out in the end. He played out the crystals a little more aggressively. Was actually leading on that for a while, but was missing stuff. Ended up doing some extra checks process.
Yeah, I really didn't want to go anywhere without the hammer, and I kind of like half-assed some of the things, but it worked out in the end.
Yeah, it's like some of the more thorough checks you did, and then had to kind of nope out of there on. He ended up doing them straight through, and that's where things kind of started to tilt a little bit. So, but no.
And let's talk about that light world. My goodness.
Yeah.
The double troll.
Yeah, we knew. Chad had largely figured out the flute had to be with Zora because that's the only way any of this actually works. But some of those sequence breaks you did actually gave you a nice little bit of flexibility there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had figured when I found the lamp on Dark Death Mountain, well, not on Light Death Mountain, but in the dark,
Right.
I was like, oh, it has to be a Agina because my window was covering up the Zora green button.
Right.
And that's why I ran over to Agina for no reason. Turns out, no, it was at Zora.
Dark Shadows is finished now, so get your GGs in chat for Dark Shadows.
GG.
Yes, and we welcome Dark Shadows to the chat, who finished with the official SRL time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 53 seconds.
So
GG, Dark Shadows.
I thought these were supposed to be faster since you need one less crystal.
Well, you would think so, wouldn't you? And yet, here we are.
Hey, we both sub-2'd that mess of a mess.
I think you both left like one check each outside of Ganon's Tower. Nice job.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think I had like Spike Cave, Ether, Catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the big chest of Thieves Town
Oh, yeah, that too.
and Peg Cave.
Okay, so like 5 checks each, but still, I mean, good job. Good job. It's fun to see your divergences as well.
I was prepared to bomb jump that.
Yeah, I remember I recently had a seed where it's like, what was it? Fire Rod was in Swamp. In the front end of Swamp, didn't have Hook Shot. Hook Shot was in Turtle Rock. And so I had to like go back and forth on those two. It's like we were waiting for something like that to show up, just to mess with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't expect to be so low health for so long. I think we were, an hour in on 6 or 8 hearts or something like that?
Yeah, it was a low heart seed.
Yeah, things didn't really start going until probably Pod.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dark, you had like 14 hearts, and Asmadi, you had 15, I think. You had mail and all of that, so you were fine with defense, and you had 4 bottles in within an hour, which is unusual.
Yeah, that was lots of bottles. In fact, I think we got like every item except for the net.
Knew where that was.
I think that's right. Yeah. According to the tracker, yeah, that's all. You guys cleared out everything else. Wow. So, not a single second spent in Turtle Rock this seed. Isn't that something?
What a shame.
Yeah.
But I thought Pinned at Turtle Rock had everything.
Well,
last time.
Seed was glitched. We have to rerun it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I was sad when I realized, sad and happy when I realized that the fact that Fire Rod and Samaria were the Go mode items meant that pedestal was dead.
Yeah, we kind of resigned ourselves to that. Basically, I think after you guys found the bow,
Mm-hmm.
No, after you found, I'm trying to remember what it was. Might have been the Hook Shot or something. Ah, well, darn, that's out. But, oh well, such as it is.
You guys have fun?
It was an experience. It was fun seed.
I'll agree it was an experience.
That light world was ridiculous. That is one of the silliest light worlds I've seen in a while.
Yeah. Really giving you everything kind of piecemeal there, and really all sorts of troll. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had mitts off Uncle and Kakariko. And then where's the Moon Pearl? The Moon Pearl's in the basement of Hera. Oh no. Good luck.
Right. So.
And you had to go to East Side Death Mountain, in order to get it, which I did Hera first.
I did East first, and then was going to do Super Bunny, but forgot to, which was fine because then I found the Moon Pearl immediately. Because that would have been. I've never gotten to do Super Bunny in an actual race.
I did Super Bunny.
Nice.
It was funny because it showed the links, the vanilla link sprite going into that cave. It's like, wait a second, that's his bunny form, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we thought we missed something somewhere.
Yeah, fun little thing if people aren't paying attention to the sprite.
So Asmadi, you're gonna move on to round 2 with this, and you'll play the winner of Mercer Leslie Pro 04.
That's cool. That should be a fun match.
Yeah, good. Dark, unfortunately, this is, I guess, for you in this tournament. I hope you enjoyed yourself, though.
Yeah, bracket curse struck again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most everybody's at GDQ this week or stuff, so it was a slow round for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's all right, but yeah, still some quality gaming being had here. Slowly grind our way through all these opening round matches. So, and it was pointed out to me, and this is for broadcasting purposes, the following match after this, scheduled tonight, Lumaga 83 versus Signubs, has been postponed till tomorrow. It will be broadcast at 10:15 p.m. Eastern then. So stay tuned for that.
Closing statements, you guys?
Well, I mean, if they're not going, we should just run the seat again, right?
Well, man, I could do this all over again. Whoa, the Hammers and Meyer, wow!
Oh, amazing! This is so unexpected. But yeah, good games, lots of fun, and looking forward to the next round. Should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone, make sure you give these guys a follow when you get a chance. They obviously didn't have the easiest of seeds, but they made the most of it, and they deserve what they deserve. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Give them a follow, and yeah, give us a follow too. Your fellow our commentators and our tracker, cool Papa Bell 2282 did a great job with tracking tonight. Amarith, as always, did a great job putting this whole thing together and giving us a reason.
Here at the Restreaming crew, would like to pat ourselves in the back for a restream job well done.
Absolutely. So I think with that, see you all again very soon. Again, match tomorrow between Signum and Umaga 83, so that should be a good one. Then there's sure there'll be future matches down the line this week, so keep an eye out as we continue bracket play of the Link to the Past Challenge Cup.
Absolutely. We'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks.